Here we are going to get started here in a few moments as I send out a little message. It goes out. There we go. Okay. And take a minute to read my disclaimer until I get some people joining. So today is July 21st, 2021. And my name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I don't diagnose, prescribe, or heal. I can scan your frequency and energy patterning and tell you what I see. And please consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice. And all content is copyright protected, and you may not use this content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. So thank you for joining in. And you're welcome to say hello in the chat, so I know you're here, and we'll get started. So first thing is just take a nice deep breath in. There's a lot of noise around me, but I'm just going to use that to kind of connect in more deeply and connect into ourselves. So I'm not sure if you're hearing it on your end, but I certainly can hear it on my end. And whatever noises you have that are around you at this time. So take a deep breath in and just allow yourself on the exhale and the next one and the next one to just come into your body a little bit more, relax, and just let the tension just release. Hey, Harold, good to see you. And Kayla, I just happened to pop on Facebook. Yes, there you go. Good timing. Absolutely. Your spirit has got your back. So just coming and relaxing. We're starting out. I don't know, like I said earlier, I don't know how much there's noise coming through, but just take a few deep breaths in, really deep breaths. And again, on each exhale, just allowing yourself to just relax and feel all that tension, the muscles, the nervous system, everything just kind of relaxing down a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Just coming in and really noticing, feeling your body. There's a big bee coming my way. Where I'm outside. Oh God, it's a wasp. Well, he's coming into bee. Yes, we're just gonna let him be, and hopefully he won't bite me. It is a wasp, anyways. That's funny. So really coming in and relaxing, and becoming aware of your body. You know, so let's kind of do this together. He's walking away. Good. He's pretty big. It's like this big. So let's come into our feet. And notice your feet. And just kind of with every breath, just sinking more into becoming aware of your feet. You know, if they're on the floor like mine are, or if you're sitting cross-legged and they happen to be just in front of you. But really feel them, you know. Let yourself connect to your feet, your toes, your toenails. The bones, there's a lot of bones in the feet, a lot of tendons. You can look at them if you want, but whether you're looking at them directly or not looking at them, and if you're not looking at them, it kind of makes you kind of focus your awareness into your feet a little bit more. You know, and you might, as you bring your awareness there into your feet, you might notice like maybe buzzing or some tightness, or if you have any pain, right? You can just kind of breathe into that. Just noticing. No need to do anything else, but just notice. And notice the positioning. You might have one that turns a little bit differently than the other. And notice the skin. And come into your ankles. There's several bones in the ankles too that help to rotate, the rotation of the feet. And you might notice that one side is tingling more than the other, or they're maybe both equal. I have a little bit of a buzz going on in my left foot, more than in my right foot, so that's kind of interesting. Then coming up the lower legs, up to the knees. So there's the shins, there's the calves. Internally, there's the muscles. There's a couple of bones in that lower portion of the legs. Veins, tendons, there's all sorts of things. Lymphatic system goes into that a little bit. And just kind of become aware of that again, feeling that, noticing that, breathing into that. If you notice any tensions, just like, okay, yeah, I noticed that. And let's just kind of take a deep breath into that, and on the exhale, just allowing that to relax a little bit more. And with your feet on the ground, just kind of notice that with your in-breath, you can actually pull in the frequencies, the energy that, up from the ground. See if you can feel that coming into your legs, or visualize it, or have a sense of it. You can kind of see it as breathing in light, and as you breathe in, that pulls it up into your body, all the way into the knees. And it could be the way I'm sitting, but hey, Diana, I think it's nice to see you. Glad you joined in. So just jump on in, get relaxed. We're just bringing our awareness into our body. So we've started with the feet, and we're up to the knees now. So just join in. And so what I'm noticing, like in my knees right now, it's like if I kind of focus on that energy coming up from the ground through the feet, big chakras on the feet, if you're into the chakra system, the bottoms of the feet, that's part of the energetic system of bringing in that energy into the system. So that comes into the knees, and at the knees, what I'm noticing is there's a little bit of kind of like cycling around. It could be because my knees are, at a 45-degree angle, bent there, instead of if I was standing straight. But if you bring your awareness into your knees and just feel that, feel that joint, and just see what happens. The energy, you can breathing the energy up, the frequencies up. If you want to focus on frequencies, they do overlap. You might kind of get a sense of, at the knees, you can feel that, and so it's going to come in naturally. There's your breath, you can pull it in more, but it's also just coming in because that's how the system works. You might notice that it's kind of moving past your knees and into your thighs. And if you don't feel that, you can also, just with the in-breath, just kind of feel like you're sucking that up a little bit more, pulling that up into your legs. So this is really good to do if you're sick, a little low energy. Clear, just to clear out the system, lighten up the system of anything that you may have picked up during the day. Just checking on that wasp. He's gone. I can't see him, so. And coming into your thighs and bringing your awareness into your thighs. And feel the density of the muscle of the thighs. That's a hefty muscle there. And a big, long bone. That's the longest bone in the body. So just kind of bringing awareness into that. And by bringing your awareness into these different parts of your body, you really kind of inhabit with your consciousness, with your awareness more. So if there's any imprinting from other people, from other experiences, from anything else that's not you in this present moment, bringing your awareness in will help to clear that. You know, as you bring your awareness into your thighs, see if you can actually go into the bone, kind of get a sense of the bone. And this is something you can work on, develop, but you might notice, okay, let me guide you through this, and you might be aware of this or you might not, and if you're not, that's fine. But as you practice this on your own, you'll become more aware of that. But kind of get a sense of just the skin. Get a sense of, you know, what does the skin feel like? And just kind of be curious about that. And get a sense maybe of the thickness of the skin. So even if you have technically thick skin, some of us have thinner skins or thicker skins, kind of more transparent skin, it's still kind of pretty thin layer, you know. Compares like your thighs this much, you've got this much is the skin only. So get a sense of that thinness. You might get a visual image that pops up, or you might kind of feel it, sense it, have a sense of it. And then come into the muscle. If you have body fat on your thighs, you might notice going through that to get to the muscle, okay? Focusing more on the muscle because it's the muscles that actually conduct the energy, the frequencies through the body. The fat doesn't, it's the muscles. So that's another important reason to really keep your muscles tone and work with your muscles and feed your muscles, because they help support you at that frequency energetic level. So just have a sense of that muscle. I want to bring up the comparison. It's kind of funny, but you know, when we're eating chicken thigh, okay, you got that big chunky meat on there. That's that chunky meat on your thighs, and how much work they do to support you, support the body in walking, even just in standing. Standing takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of physical and energetic energy. But feel the density of that muscle, the thickness of that muscle. Well, that feels kind of different. Again, might have a little bit of a different sense of from the skin, how that's different. There's a different kind of density to it than the skin has. Then coming into the bone. And feel the bone. See if you can get a sense of the bone of your thigh. Very long, from the knee all the way up into the hip socket. And while you're feeling that bone, so, you know, it might feel kind of brittle in comparison to the muscle. So some of you might be wondering, it's like, okay, wait, this is coming into being. This is like, I want to like connect with my spirit. It's like, you can't get more connected than this. Your spirit wants to come into the physical body, wants to really inhabit the physical body. So we're kind of just slowing down the process here. And you can play with this. Go back. It's like, okay, let's feel the muscle again. Let's go back to the bone, muscle, skin, bone, back and forth to develop that sensing, that feeling skill, and really being even more fine-tuned into your body. And with the bone, you can even go into the core of the bone with the marrow. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. We're really going into deep connection with visceral. We're trying to make it as visceral as possible today, that connection to the physical body. So we're working on the legs and working on feeling the thighs and really connecting the thighs and the different layers of the tissues there. So this is where it just took everybody through skin, muscles, the bone. And with the bone, even kind of going in and kind of just, let's play around with this. Let's just kind of feel into that core of the bone, what the marrow is. And this is a really important piece to connect with because that is part of your immune system. I won't try to explain it too much because I think I'm going to get it wrong. So, but this is part of the blood cells, formation of the blood cells, and like I want to say the T cells, the white blood cells that have to do with the immune system, fighting off infection and all that. So the bone marrow is very important for that. So coming in there and owning that, this is mine. This is you. This is your support system for your spirit in this physical life. And when your spirit comes into that anchors you in even more. I have an incredible experience with somebody I was doing a session on. Came back really sick from a trip, hepatitis B, and well, he had a lot of things. He actually was living with AIDS for 30 years with medication, and he came back from this trip, hepatitis B. His kidney function had been kind of low for us, so he was actually starting to turn yellow. And did a session on him, and I all of a sudden during the session could see like this blue light of spirit, the color that I see of the spirit, coming in specifically into his bone marrow and his kidneys and his brain. And the next, it was overnight change. It was unbelievable. I mean, I was shocked. I was really surprised. So, but just bringing that up because it's a really, that bone marrow is really important. So coming into the lower abdomen, from the legs into the lower abdomen. Feeling there, so there's a volume there also, front and back, side to side. Coming into the lower abdomen. Okay, so the pelvic floor, the genitals, the sexual organs, feels like that's really important. There's a sense of abuse, misuse for people, at least some of you on the call. So let's really come in and let's own that part of ourselves. And own it by coming into that with our awareness. So that might bring up crime, sadness, that might bring up fear. And so I'm kind of feeling that coming to the surface there. It may be stuff that you've worked on before, but we're getting into finer levels of clearing as we all shift into this new paradigm, into the new consciousness. So there's the kind of that heaviness, and I add misuse to that, because misuse, and what I mean by misuse is when we have sex, when we're consenting, it's not forced on us, but we're not in the right place. We're not really honoring ourselves for whatever reason, because we don't know any better. Because you got hormones are raging, and we haven't learned to when we're in our younger days, hormones kind of have a tendency to take over a little bit more, especially when we haven't learned to be in charge of ourselves. So there's a lot of misuse that way. Saying yes when we really wanted to say no. So that's starting to feel better, feel a little bit lighter for people, and really kind of breathe into that. This is a, I want to say special, sacred. Those words aren't quite right, but this is a you. This is part of you, and so much is done in cultures and society and religion to disconnect us from that aspect of ourselves. So reclaiming that expression of ourselves. It's, in a way, you could say it's sacred, because the sexual energy, sexual expression ties in directly to the creative forces of existence. They're really, I would not call them the same, but they overlap with each other. So there's an overlap that's important to know. So it ties us into to this deeper aspect of, and so much has been done to disconnect us from that, which is a way of taking us away from our power. So this is a way of just like saying, no, this is me. This is who I am. This is my power. It feels much lighter too. Let's go into the intestines. So that's another charged area. A lot of emotional baggage can be kind of stuffed into the intestinal tract. So just kind of breathe into that. Notice how your intestinal tract feels. So that's most of your lower abdomen, like from your, can't see me, but from the pelvic bone up to the sternum. All of that is the intestines. There's some other things in there, but for the most part, it's the intestinal tract. And kind of want to throw in the bladder in there too. The bladder, that kind of, there's a lot of fear can come in through that. Get cleared out through that. So feel into that. Do they feel kind of tight? Do feel a little twisted around? Does it feel like somebody else is in there? So by breathing into that, and if you notice any tension, any tightness, just take a deep breath into it. Notice it. Just kind of remind yourself you can kind of relax as you come into that area. That area can relax wherever you feel the tension, the pain. Yeah, we're going to work on this a little bit, because I can feel that also in the group, just kind of that little twisting around. It's bringing to mind illnesses like Crohn's and irritable bowel syndrome, where there's kind of this energy that's coming in. So let's take a deep breath into that. And on the exhale, just letting that out, releasing all that. Yeah, so that's coming in better. Kind of relaxing more, coming up the spine. So I'm going to dip back down to the tailbone and just allow yourself with your breath to just come up your spine, tailbone, and the sacrum, and then up the vertebrae. And let's get into the rib cage. And we'll continue with the internals, so we get up to into the lower ribs that are separated there in front, and then we get into the liver on the right side, the pancreas, the spleen, and the stomach that are on the left side. And just feel into those organs, come into there. And breathe into those. There's the kidneys on the back side there. Their kidneys are about waist level. Those lower ribs there. Take a deep breath into that. Yeah, so I'm feeling stuff with the kidneys there. So fear can come into the kidneys. Fear will come into, all these emotions can come into any part, but there's a tendency for fear to get processed through the kidneys. So, and then the adrenals are right on top of the kidneys. So that's one way it connects, because the adrenals are fight or flight. So when there's fear, it's like something comes up, then it's like the adrenals are going to get activated. And even if we physically don't respond, because we have had that training to just be frozen in reaction to terror, whatever reason, or having been, I don't want to say the word abducted, but so if that's happened to anybody, but also just attacked and pinned down and unable to move. So you get into this state of locking in place instead of fighting or running for your life. So that connects into those adrenals, so that will mess up the reaction of the adrenals, or that coordination between that signal and the physical response that's needed. Okay, let's take a nice deep breath into those kidneys and the adrenals there. Right now we can relax. We can let go of all that into the past. Yeah. Good. Okay, moving up into the lungs. A lot of fear can come in and inhibit the lungs also, contracting the muscles, making it impossible to breathe, for those muscles to relax so the breath can come in. I'm bringing in that relaxation into that whole upper chest. Okay, the breasts are coming up for women here, because there's been aggression there in some way. Some of this might not be specifically for individuals here present. It might be more of the global level that is coming through also. Yeah, Jennifer, there's a sense that you kind of have a tendency to pick up on that's coming through, that you kind of tune into that group level energy. So let's come in and kind of reclaim, part of doing this coming into being is reclaiming our bodies and creating that separation so that we might feel it, but we don't have to take it on. We might be aware of these different levels, like the group level, the community, our families, but it can stay separate from us, so that we can stay centered in ourselves. Okay, let's come into the back, back of to the back, upper back. So that whole thoracic back, like the shoulder blades, but coming out a little bit below the shoulder blades. So the whole rib cage. That feels like that's you, Harold. That pertains particularly to you. Okay, a lot of heaviness. So that gets into that burden carrying, and it connects up to like grief and sadness and sensitivity. There we go, emotional sensitivity. So let's come into that upper back and really come in and own that so that we can stand straight, stand tall. Thanks. So Jennifer's saying thanks. A lot of family for me lately. Yeah. So that's okay. Separating that out. That's come up for me. That came up with somebody that we really clearly is somebody that I worked on yesterday. This family piece, and you feel like it's a swamp. And that's literally how it felt, to be honest. It's like I'm noticing this swamp. We don't have to take that in. So noticing that and like, okay, nope, that's outside of me. I'm not going to take that in. So yeah, so Harold, okay, so letting that just slide off. So really breathing into that upper back. And I'm picking up certain people, but you might find that this also applies to you. So this is hard. It can feel difficult, especially when we're more sensitive to the plight of others. Oh, another message. Okay, of course I can't read it because it's like totally. There we go. Now I can see the message. Yeah. So notice that. Okay, so that sensitivity. Yeah, and Harold, that's a real key piece for you. So holding that sensitivity lightly, using that to be aware of, because it makes you more aware of where people are at than somebody who doesn't have that sensitivity. Stop there. Okay, that can help you. You don't have to take it on. I say stop there because just listen to the person, hear them out, but be really clear that it's like, okay, I can listen, I can sit in the presence of this, but I'm not taking this on. I can't take this on because that's not going to help them. They need to become stronger within themselves. So, okay, so that weight, so I can feel that weight, and what's happening is it's shifting up. So I can feel like a straighter back, but then that weight kind of separating that out. So let's really take that a little bit further into that spine, into those shoulder blades, into those shoulders. Let's really bring our awareness in there. And to just lift that off. Yeah, that's feeling much better now for the group. Front of the chest, we need to come a little bit more into the front of the chest there. There's some heaviness there. So let's not let go of the back. Let's stay with the back, stay with that awareness of the back, and then come into the front as well. And feel that like 3D, from back to front, expanding out and then side to side. So 3D in all, like there's a big balloon inside of you that's just expanding in all directions. Yeah. That brilliance at that center. There's a center of brilliance coming through. So let's bring that out. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very nice. Well, let's come into the neck. We got the arms. We're going to go in the arms in a minute. Yeah, there's a lot in the arms too. Okay, let's see. Do we do the neck or the arms first? Okay, the neck is kind of started. Let's go into the arms because I can feel a lot of heaviness with the arms. Okay. Wow, that really came up to me not too long ago, like this weekend. Just a meditation I was doing. It basically this, but with a little bit more depth to it. The arms, you know, this is how we nurture, we feed ourselves, is literally bringing things to our mouths. This is babies, toddlers, you know, they bring things to their mouth. You know, there's a whole identification process with the mouth, but there's also feeding, bringing to ourselves what we want. So that's kind of representative of that. So let's go into the shoulder joints because that feels disconnected, like not connected to the body. That happens with a lot of certain people. Not everybody, but some people can have this disconnection between their torsos and their limbs, and so it's like energetically they're all contained, they're all held in, and so it doesn't flow out. That's a particular patterning, but that disconnection is also, that's just a way of being controlled and dominated. So Diana, you're popping up on this one. So there's the chest, there's the joints that are right here. Okay. So as we move into that, there's a lot that's clearing off. So this is good, but there is a flow. It's all connected. There's the bones, you know, join into the shoulders there. Even rotating the shoulders around, you can move around and really get a sense of that connection. They're together. They're one. They're part. It's not a thing that got glued on there to the torso. But just allowing and kind of allowing that breath. Let's take a deep breath into the chest. Hold it there for a minute, and on the exhale, just kind of allow, visualize, see that breath going from the chest down the arms, down through the arms. Really push that. See if there's one side that needs to be pushed in more, pushed through. It might be one side where it just kind of flows through more easily than the other. For right now, it might be different another time if you do it again. And feel that. So yeah, feel your awareness just flowing down all the way from the center of the chest through the joint of the shoulders. It's a little stuck there, so that's okay. And down into the upper arms, to the elbows. Like you might feel like you have to really push to do that. That's fine. All the way down, lower arms. You know, there's the elbows, the lower arms, into the hands. Like you're pushing your awareness. You know, like imagine you're blowing up a balloon internally, and it's coming into the shape of your body. It's going into all the way to your palms and even into your fingers. Okay. Yeah, I'm really feeling those hands. A lot clearing out of those hands. You know, some of us can be very sensitive to hands, so everything you touch starts to like those frequencies kind of embed in there. So that's a place where maybe you might not have a clear enough distinction for yourself, and so you touch something. So again, it's that you can feel that, but you don't have to take it in. So becoming more adept at that sensing, but not taking in. Those are two separate separate skills, two different skill sets, and making those. So there's a feeling like some of you are clearing a lot out of there. Yeah. You're just kind of imagining that the breath, the energy is just flowing right out your hands, clearing everything out. Yeah. So that's feeling a bit lighter here. There's quite a bit moving off of people. It's pretty amazing off of the group here. So there's a lot of anger, a lot of mental level stuff off 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 of people. So okay, take a nice deep breath in, breathing in through your palms, pulling even through your fingertips, pulling all the way in both arms as you breathe in into here and into the neck, and coming into that neck. It's almost like somebody feels like they've got, God, like a chain that's right in, part of a chain going right, hooked right around the spine of the neck, vertebrae. Wow, that feels pretty weird. Okay. Feels pretty weird, but then, you know, this is what gets done when people are seen as slaves or seen as non-entities. That's the kind of treatment that comes through. So really coming in. Yeah, and a lot of choking, a lot of hand stuff around the neck. So feeling that neck, breathing into that neck. Really owning that. Okay, Diana, you're coming up on this one again too. So it may not be that when I'm calling out different people around, you know, that you were choked or grabbed. I mean, maybe it was, but it's also energetically that interaction that happens at the non-physical level, that something the person is maybe thinking like this, and that's going to come into you. That's how transparent it is at the spirit level, at that non-physical level. So coming into that right now, it's like, oh, you know, or somebody trying to stop you expressing yourself. And so let's just put that aside for now. The experience, the situation. Like right now, just come into the throat. Like for all of us, the expression. And there's also this sense of expression shifting, you know, as we come more into ourselves and as we evolve, as we ascend, transcend, that expression is going to change, you know, so that will come into play here at the throat, or can. Yeah, and feeling the back of the neck. So that feels really good, because that's again, I feel that separation happening with these. So very nice. And if you can feel that kind of lifting off, and it just kind of, it's like it moves away. All of a sudden, it's not the body anymore. It's like a little off the body. So if you can feel that. And then coming into the head. So there's a lot of pieces in the head there. I just kind of start with a general awareness of the whole head. Front, back, side to side, top, chin, there's the bottom, kind of the chin. Yeah, and so Kayla, there's earlier that was coming up, but we weren't at the head yet, but a kind of mental level clearing happening for you there on the frontal lobe area. Yeah, there's this little persona for you, Kayla, who's like, just, I don't know who that is, if that's you or if that's your 6-year-old or what, but there's kind of just up here. Yeah, I get the sense of a lot of congestion in that area too for you. So let's just come into that. Let's just come into that area. Take a nice deep breath in. Also, take a nice, everybody, let's do this. Take a nice deep breath in from earth, pulling it all the way up through and into our heads. Holding it. And then on the exhale, just seems like this balloon expanding from center and pushing out all of that stuff. Yeah. And the top of the head too, you know. People can come in from at the top level and top of the head at that level as well, on the energetic level or the non-physical level. So it's important to come into that awareness of the top of the head. Okay, and if you have to touch the top of your head. Okay, Diana, you're coming up on this one. Create more distinct separation, especially when we are sensing. Oh, there he is again. He's huge. I'm sorry, you guys, but he's huge. He's like this big, you know, like speaking to my mouth. It's like huge. I don't. He looks a little lost. All right, sorry, it's a wasp here. It keeps showing up here. So Diana, yeah, especially when we're sensitive at the mental level. With information coming through. So really coming into the top of that head, creating that distinction at the top of the head. You know, if you have to kind of touch it, and for all of us, that's good too. Some of us are just more sensitive in certain areas than in others. Front and back. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And just keep working on this. Even let's do the back of the head too, because we tend to, because our eyes are facing forward, then it's like it gets a little hazy in the backside. So let's, you know, again, touch the back of your head. Bring that tactile impression to help with the bringing in the awareness a little bit more. Yeah, shifting all of that. Very nice. So that's better. Okay. So again, take a nice deep breath into your whole body. Come into your whole body. Let's release this all out. Yeah, a lot of release happening for people, or separating out, you know, a lot of density that just kind of released, and you might not have been aware of that when you came here, but I certainly can see it. So we're just going to finish up here these last few minutes that we have, just, yeah, and See, people are kind of breathing more lightly now. It's like, yeah, starting to notice that. Oh, that's good. And feel yourself, what you're sitting on or standing on, or if you're lying down, it's fine too. And just come into really being aware of your surroundings. Yeah, and we're shifting up, so I'm going to focus on that, shifting up to out of all that. Whole crown open more and got tingly. Yes, very good. Yeah, and just kind of make sure, once in a while, just kind of check to see if you're aware of that. Just to keep that open, but also to keep that distinction of self and other there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, everybody coming up. So see if you can feel this for yourself, because there's been a really thick layer, that's a dense layer that's come off here, the whole group. And it's like everybody's in this little bubble together and lifting up higher from all this. It's kind of interesting because it's kind of looks frozen, so not sure what that's about. It's like the little sphere, the little bubble that I see everybody in is just kind of frozen. Okay. So let's come into that core channel for yourself. Your spine, if you want to focus in on your spine. But Wasp is just happy to be here, I guess. He just looks a little he looks a little funky, like he's a little drunk or something. It's kind of odd. That's fine. I just don't want to get bit. So coming into that spine, coming into that core. That fine line. So here's that image for you. Just that clear, crystal clear line, bright line, going right through you, down to the core of the earth, up into deepest aspect of existence. It's that pure source line. That's you. That's that core. Yep. There we go. Yes. Breathing into that, connecting to that. Yeah. And so that's lifting off and that kind of frozen layer that I was seeing. So that's good. Coming into a whole new level. Yeah, so just allow yourself to breathe into that. So there's even this thawing out that's happening. So that's really interesting because I haven't seen that before. But every time something new always comes up each time. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like there was a part of everybody's here on the call that was kind of frozen in time and just waiting for things to be at the right place, and it's not all of you, but some aspect of you to be able to open up more deeply to yourself, to your truth. allowing that expression to come through more. Thank you so much, Marianne. Yeah, thank you, Diane, and thank you for stopping by. And you're welcome. So really coming into that essence of yourself, really breathing into that. Kind of want to show you guys this guy. You know, he keeps disappearing on me, so that's why I keep looking around so I know where he is and I don't step on him and have fun with that. Really, yes. So very nicely. So that's everybody. Yeah, this is nice. The whole group is just feeling there's this lightness there, and this purity for everybody coming through. So I hope you can feel that. If you have a sense of that, just put a comment in. So Diana, really come into that core even more. Okay, there's a feel of just being a little clogged up here, that lower sternum. So go in deeper. Let's see what else I can. Yep. Kind of feel like you have some determination there to push through. There we go. Now it's starting to come through. That was awesome, Mary. I feel so much more connected. Thank you. Oh, great. You're welcome. And great. That's great. So glad. So you come in and it's fantastic. You know, I just love that deeper connection to our spirit guiding us to where we need to, what's going to be helpful for us, what's going to be helpful or more fun. Or so Diana, see if you can feel into that. So what's happening for you, Diana, is that, you know, there's kind of this channel, but it's like now that's gotten clear, but it's like push on down. So move your awareness kind of down, imagining that line and seeing that line going through the core view and coming down more and more and more, further and further down. And you're getting through that. You're opening that up for yourself. So that's really good. Yeah. What's part of what I see happening with that core channel is that it's a little bit of your family trying to like a little sticky little thing that's sticking on to you and sticking onto that core channel because they want to be in the juice. They want to get that juice and they haven't figured out how to do it for themselves, kind of thing. And you've got that. So, but you just got to hold that strong, and that's fine. And just like saying, no, this is fine. You can do that for yourself. You know, we don't have to get nasty with people. Sometimes that we need to, because getting nasty, even internally in our minds, it's like, no, get away. It's really about being emphatic for ourselves, because we need to do that. We need to step up to the plate for ourselves. And as you get stronger, you know, in owning your space and yourself, then you can just say, nope, sorry, this is my space. So we don't have to be so emphatic about it. And saying, okay, you can do this for yourself. Just watch me, but you can do this for yourself. You know, you can look, but you're not going to get stuck on me. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. All right, coming to the top of the hour. So a little visual for you know, we're kind of ending here, but just coming through that whole body, bringing your awareness into your body. But a nice reference point is like, okay, how clear is that line? Where's that line right now? And so the reference image for you of where you want to be is kind of that clear. I kind of see it, you know, it's interesting because it's kind of mostly white. There's a tinge of light blue. There's kind of a tinge of gold in that white. but it's very brilliant. It's very fine line, but like you just draw a line on a pencil line on a piece of paper. So it's not that it's thick, but it's very bright and clear all the way through you. And then it's like, okay, that's the reference point. How do I compare with that? And if you notice that it's like, okay, I'm a little wobbly, or it's got feels like it's broken in some areas or whatever, just like, okay, and this is where I need to be. So let's clear out what's in the way of being in that pure alignment to a pure source of my pure essence, my pure presence. That's always at the core of who we are, of what we are, kind of thing. So good job, everybody. That was a good clearing. So I don't know if you have any last comments there. My buddy I don't know where he went. I swear to God, he was really big. He was like, I swear to God, he's a big wasp. But if not, we will just end the call here. And thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, which is first and third Wednesday of the month, so 4 o'clock. Really appreciate it. So how do you feel, Diana? Just does that feel a little bit more cleared up with that, a little stronger for yourself? I know you're going through a lot of family strengthening with the family. I know you're obviously not the only one here. So really good. Okay. Well, thank you all for stopping by, and see you on the first Wednesday. Indeed. Yay. Good. I'm glad to hear that from Diana. So first and third Wednesday of the month. So not next week. I think it's going to be the week after. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but the first Wednesday. So see you then, and have a good rest of July. I'm glad you guys can show up here, because I think it's important, because it's supporting you, but it's also just we're acting as anchors, even just this little bit of coming in together as a group, and coming into ourselves more, clearing more of our stuff, keeping ourselves really centered and strong within ourselves. That has an impact, because again, everything's transparent at spirit level, so everybody is seeing this, whether they're conscious of that or not. But so it's got that impact for ourselves, and then for the whole group. So, and everybody's still kind of going nuts here, so globally. Anyways, all right, thanks everybody for stopping in, and we'll see you on the first Wednesday of August.